And now we'll go to the backyard. So just to give you an idea, this is looking across the street. This is that little walkway that I didn't want to come down. There's the lime wire that's on the corner of the house. Then there's a dogwood here. And over in here are ditch lilies and, as you can see, tons of bleeding hearts. I turn around and the walkway to the backyard, and I have lilac trees here. They make nice shade. So I have bird feeders, and then I have my house plants over here, my two pothos, Queen of the Night. That's a begonia my son and daughter-in-law bought for me, and it looks like it needs to be watered. I have a fern back there and a hosta, another fern. That's a peony. That's coral bells down there, but it looks like somebody's been feasting on it. This is wild ginger. That's my corn plant. It's kind of sprouting from the bottom, which is good because I thought it was almost dead. Sorry, I'm turning the camera. That's probably not a good idea. This is my burro's tail. And as you can see, I've got different bird feeders out here. Oh, and my orchid. My little orchid hanging out. That did blossom and looked very pretty. Oh, and my pots are so dry. Here's another huge bleeding heart mixed in with the hostas that I have along the side. Ouch. More hostas. Iris, hostas. There is a, oh, here it is. Looks like somebody's been eating it, but that's a beautiful lime green miniature hosta. One of my favorites. Okay, so yeah, I gotta get out here and water my pots because they're all drying out. I have a hydrangea here, and I would tell you what it is, but I can't remember. And then my Schefflera. This hosta is starting to bloom. These are all daylilies, and then growing on the trellis is morning glories, and they didn't do so good this year. That's a peony. And say hi, Aurora. And then another pot back there, and some bird feeders. And my swan pot. This was an herb bed, and there's an elephant ear in there. I just haven't been able to get out in the yard like I would like to. Here's another elephant ear. Between injuries and my health problems, I just haven't been able to get out and weed like I'd like to. But rhubarb, this is a peony. There's some more elephant ears. This is mint, and as you can see, volunteer morning glories. And I usually leave the morning glories to do their thing. They can do whatever they want. Here we have honeyberries and a second honeyberry. This one looks dead, but there is one branch that has leaves on it. I need to get out here and trim it up. I'm hoping next year we might have fruit. Going along, that's a gooseberry. It's a Pixwell gooseberry, and actually this is the second year they've been in, and they did pretty good this year. I got quite a few gooseberries off of them comparatively because I didn't think I would get anything. And then another elephant ear. I have lots of those. This is my garden, my vegetable garden. I have carrots, and let me find them. There's parsnips in that row, and the parsnips actually germinated better than the carrots this year, which is surprising. But either way, I'll have some stuff. And then all of my pots, my stinky plants, I can't remember what those are called, and then coleus and some flowers, and my rosemary. This is a naked lady, more of the stinky plants, a pot of basil, a pot of parsley for the butterflies. This is more coleus in a mixed pot, more of the stinky plants. Those are gladiolus. Sorry about the shaking, folks. That's one of the hazards of my condition. Okay, so more... I'm going to switch hands here. More parsnips, elephant ears, hollyhocks. My beautiful, let me step over here. My beautiful red Hope for Humanity rose. When you buy these roses, part of the Japanese beetles are just totally decimating it. When you buy these roses, part of the proceeds goes to AIDS research. Then over here we have a whole bunch of peonies. They were so pretty this year. This is vanilla strawberry hydrangea. And another elephant ear. I planted them all along in here. And then we have more elephant ears and morning glories. And morning glories along the fence, along with some Virginia creeper. And then over here are my raspberries, and they just went crazy this year. I need to get out here and cut them down for the fall, but they just went nuts. We had so many raspberries this year, it was unbelievable. Over here is another peony, and this is comfrey. And what I do with my comfrey is I break it off, or I cut it off. It gets to be about 6 feet tall, and I just cut it off, and you can see where I cut it, but it's got new growth coming back. And I just put it down as green mulch. Just chop it off and drop it into my garden so that it mulches in. Over here is my toilet that I plant every year, to the chagrin of my husband. It's not doing too bad. It's just everything's been so dry lately. My calla lilies, here, I'll get a close-up of those. So there's my callas, and I just love my callas. They just stay in the pot, and I take them down and store them in the basement, and every year a different color comes up. And then these are caladiums, and I used to have different colored caladiums in here, but it looks like only the white spotted, or the green with white spots survived. Over here is the snake plant. These are all my house plants. We have an agave. Oh, that one, this cactus, I'm getting close. This cactus is going to blossom, or has blossomed. It has the most beautiful pink flowers on it, and I can get it to blossom just about every year. I bring all of my houseplants outside. Here's another agave. That's one of Brutus's babies. This is another snake plant. If you follow my pictures on Facebook, if you go look at my pictures, you can find pictures of Brutus. Brutus is about 3 feet across and about 3 feet tall, and he didn't get out of the bathroom this year. He got relegated to the bathroom, and he actually loves it up there. He's perfectly happy living in our bathtub, so we just leave him there. So more houseplants. There's sweet potato vine and many succulents. There's an English ivy here, and then another English ivy in the back up there, and those go in the house. Those go in the kitchen when they come in the house. The rest usually go in the dining room and different spots in the living room. My pencil cactus here, my Hoya, another snake plant. My rubber tree plant is doing amazingly well out here. This poor cactus was just, I was so mean to it, and I brought it outside and put it outside, and I'm hoping it'll do better. In this pot is this stuff that I can't remember the name of, and if I can get to it, I believe it's a Mandevilla vine. I overwintered it in the house, and it just went leggy, and I don't know, yeah, see how leggy it got? So I'm going to have to trim it back, and it hasn't done much, but it's okay. It's not looking too bad. I mean, it's got new growth all along here, so if I snip it here and leave this, it's got all new growth, so that'll be good. And then my ponytail palms, and those are doing nicely, although I see somebody probably ate some. My guess would be Chuck. We have a resident woodchuck. That's my hobbit plant over there. So yeah, here is there's an elephant ear underneath here, that's just starting to come up. It's just getting a leaf on it right there. And then my tomato plant, and again, nothing has done really great this year. Normally this is a Sweet 100 cherry tomato, and normally I get thousands of tomatoes off these plants, and they grow just forever. And this one hasn't done much. So another pot with coleus and parsley, and you can see the parsley is dried out. I really need to water. Here's another pot of basil. I've been harvesting my basil, and here's a look around the yard. It needs work, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Clothes hanging on the line, and there's Aurora. Anyway, I've been harvesting my basil for I've been putting it in the blender with water and not water, I'm sorry, in the blender with olive oil, and freezing it so that we can cook with it. Over here, it's kind of a mess. This is my amaryllis pot, and this year I have to repot them. They've been in this pot for years, and they're just not doing so great. So I'm going to bust them up and repot them in fresh soil, and hopefully they do better. That's another pot that just gets taken right into the house and put into the basement for storage over the winter, and then I just bring it out in the spring. This is Silver Mound Artemisia, but it has another name. Is it Wormwood? I think it's Wormwood. And then we have some sedum in here. This tree was a volunteer from my neighbor. Let me back up here. This is right outside our dining room. Our dining room window is right there. And it was a volunteer, and I just left it because I think it's such a beautiful tree. I need to get in there and trim it up because it's got volunteers. This thing volunteers like crazy. And it adds shade to the dining room, which is really nice in the summertime. And then in here you can see my cactus, my prickly pear cactus. They're so covered up in here that they haven't blossomed this year. And then just my cleaning station and drying station. That's my rocks from my indoor plants, and then I put my pots and my trays there to dry. And over here are some compost bins, and this is my cleaning station / potting table. And then, as you can see, Aurora at the gate.